module you will learn about various commands available in data manipulation language, how to insert new records into a table, and update rows in a table, delete records from a table, the merge statement, database transactions, and locking. Data manipulation language defines the data of table. Manipulation of data like insert, update and delete can be done by DML statements. Let's learn about data manipulation language. We will be using insurance management system throughout this module. There are 3 tables used in this system, that is IMS. First, a customer table will store the information of each customer. Second, a policy table will store the information about each policy plan available in the insurance. Third, policy enrollment table will store the information about the policy taken by a customer. Here are listed sample records available in customer, policy and policy enrollment tables. In previous session we learnt about how to create and modify a table. Now let's see the syntax of insert statement and example of inserting a record into a table. Data for date, care and where care types should be always enclosed within single quotes in the insert statement. After the name of the table, attribute names should be mentioned within brackets to insert data for specific attributes. To update records in the table we use update statement. By default, the update statement changes the existing values of a column to all records in a table. A where clause is used to limit the updated rows. More than one condition can be specified in a where clause using logical operator. If we want to add the mail address to the customer tiny, it can be done using update statement. Here is the example of update statement as to how to modify specific row and all rows in the table. To delete records in the table we use delete statement. By default, the delete statement removes all the existing records from a table. A where clause is used to limit the deleted records. Here is the example of delete statement to deleting specific row and all rows from the table. Deletion is not possible if the row to be deleted is referred in the child table. Deletion of the parent record is made possible by using a foreign key reference option. The available reference options are: first, cascade, which deletes the row from the parent table, and automatically deletes the matching rows in the child table. Second, set null, which deletes the row from the parent table, and sets the foreign key column in the child table to null. Third, restrict, which rejects the delete or update operation for the parent table. The default option is restrict. When a record is removed from the customer table, it should also be removed from the related records in the enrollment table. To achieve this, we can use onDelete cascade while creating a table. Here is an example for how to use onDelete cascade while creating the table. If you want to set null values instead of removing the record from the transaction table, how do you do that? To achieve this, we can use onDelete set null while creating a table. Here is an example of how to use onDelete set null while creating the table. Here are few differences between truncate and delete statement. Using a truncate, a particular set of records cannot be removed, since where clause can be used along with DML statements, but not with DDL statements. Second, truncated records cannot be retrieved, but deleted records can be recovered unless the transaction is committed. Third, truncate operation cannot be performed on a parent table, but delete operation can be performed only when no records from a parent table is referred by a child table or records which do not have child records. Mr. Tom wants to maintain a separate table called policy history, to maintain policy name and with number of time that policy has been borrowed. He is particular that an insertion should happen when a policy is taken for the first time and updating of the count for the next time. His friend suggested merge statement to get the result. Merge statement provides the ability to conditionally update or insert data into a database table. By using the merge statement we can perform an update if the row exists, and an insert if it is a new row. The merge statement is deterministic, that is, we cannot update the same row of the target table multiple times in the same merge statement. Here we explain the syntax of merge statement. The keyword into specifies the target for the merge. The target must be either a table or an updatable view. Using clause represents the source dataset for the merge statement. This can be a single table or an inline view. On clause is where we supply the join between the source dataset and target table. Note that the join conditions must be in parentheses. When matched clause is where we instruct Oracle on what to do when we already have a matching record in the target. When not matched clause is where we insert records for which there is no current match. Here is an example of merge statement and how to maintain a table policy history, which will have the policy name and the number of times the policy has been borrowed. Tom inserted few records, but he could not find the records on the next day. His friend replied, "We have to explicitly save all operations which is done using the ML statements. Permanency of the ML operations are done using commit." Mr. Tom needs to get the record which he deleted unknowingly. His friend gives solution to use rollback statement unless the transaction is commit. Save point can be used between statements in a transaction and the rollback is to happen till needed save point. A transaction is a very small logical unit of a work and it may contain several low-level tasks. A transaction in a database system must maintain atomicity, consistency, isolation, and durability, commonly known as ACID properties, in order to ensure accuracy, completeness, and data integrity. Transaction begins when DML statement is executed. Transaction should end with either commit or rollback. DDL commands are by default auto-commit. In database transaction, we use the commit statement to end the current transaction and make all pending data changes performed in the transaction permanent. Use the save point statement to identify a point in a transaction to which you can later roll back. We can use rollback transaction to erase all data modifications made from the start of the transaction or to a save point. Locking helps in avoiding inconsistency and increasing concurrency. Locking in Oracle is done automatically and locks are held for a duration of a transaction. The types of locking are explicit locking and implicit locking. Two modes of locking are exclusive and shared. Exclusive locks lock out other users. Shared lock allows other user to access the server. For insert, update and delete the table get shared lock and row gets exclusively locked. For select no lock is required, and for DDL the object definition is protected. Locks of a transaction are retained until either a commit or rollback is issued. In this module you have learnt about various commands available in data manipulation language. How to insert new records into a table, and update rows in a table. Delete records from a table. The merge statement. Database transactions, and locking. Thank you.